Good afternoon. Friends, family, loved ones, enemies, contributors, distractors. This is Kevin Lewis on the Blueprint. In this week's show, I have a special guest on, my brother Jahi Osaze. And we're going to talk about the title of the show, which is Great Black Hopes. And I'm going to let this brother introduce himself. I know this is not his first time on. But in case anyone's tuning in for the first time, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, brother Kevin.
All right, it's good. Right. I'm glad to have you on, and let's give an introduction. Tell us about you.
All right, my name is Jahi Osaze, and I'm a part of an organization called the Liberation Center, and we're a movement that's conscious, that's all about educating, preparing our people, and equipping our people with the information and also with the help that they need to be better people based upon what's happening in our lives as African American people. Okay. And so basically what we do is we help people where they are. And I know we're going to get into some of the other aspects of it now, but yeah, that's what we do. We love to inform people, we love to communicate, and we love to dialogue with people so that we can get a better understanding as to move the needle forward, because we have a lot of issues that we face today.
Okay, and that's an organization.
Yeah, it's an organization.
And y'all do a lot of different things with this organization.
Yeah, we COVID test for free.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have tablets, the ACP tablets that we basically give away to those who qualify, senior citizens, women, young ladies who are maybe impregnated, or if your economic status is a certain amount, living below the poverty line. We run an application, and if you qualify, all you pay is $11 to get that, and we're going to be promoting that as well, even at the play, because a lot of people need that, especially our elderly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you have Christ. Yeah, you have a couple of things.
Yeah.
You have the Liberation Center. You have the school.
Yeah, the school, Liberation Academy. We have the school, right? And that's going well. It's an African-centered school. The curriculum is Afrocentric, African-based. The subjects range from just about every discipline you could imagine. The young kids are learning so much at a very early age. And then we also have Cries from the Womb, which I'm a part of. We are working. In fact, we should be done within the next week on our third project.
Now, that's a musical.
Yeah, that's a musical. That's a musical.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got a lot of tentacles, man.
Yeah.
So, what's your status as far as the school? What's your label?
Well, I wear a lot of hats, brother Kevin. I'm not just the principal, but I help pick up students and take them to and fro from school. I counsel them. I teach them. So I really wear a lot of hats, because when you're dealing with children, you have to have a hands-on approach, right, because that's very important. So we have some other young people that help us out, staff-wise, kind of teach some of the children. But the school is just started this year, and it's constantly growing when people see that the curriculum is user-friendly for African-American children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know about some of the other stuff. I knew about the school.
Yeah.
And I did know the Cries from the Womb, and I didn't know that. Like, I have our first two CDs on my title.
Okay.
And I was waiting for the next one. I was thinking it was already out. I was looking for it like a week or so ago.
Okay.
I didn't see it, but it should be released soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, the Great Black Hopes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's talk about why we're here today.
Okay, all right, brother.
So I'm gonna let you talk about it, man.
Okay. Okay.
And what is the Great Black Hopes?
Okay. First of all, before we get into that, I wanted to say to you, I appreciate you always giving me an opportunity to come on your broadcast, your podcast. You always seem to have an open arms policy. Oh. A lot of people say that, as we know, but then when it's time to really pay the band and put it together, a lot of people renege, and based upon the fact that the type of information that we discuss is so crucial, a lot of people back down from it, but a lot of people embrace it. But you're one of the brothers that, since I met you, you always have been generous, kind-hearted, and I want you to know that I appreciate that.
I appreciate the love. Of course, I'm gonna get that love, because I think we're on the same wavelength when we're talking about the stuff we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And man, you have a blueprint actually implement it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
a lot of people talk.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I think that's the main issue that our people have.
Right.
And I heard Dr. Boyce Watkins say this, like he had people that come to him with $1 million ideas
Mm-hmm.
with $5 plans of implementing
Right,
ideas.
right.
And he said they be great ideas,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't getting it off the ground is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that plague us as a people.
Exactly.
We want to help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ones that want to do some work, we want to
Right.
help,
Right.
but we don't know how. And we have an idea on what we want to do,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know how to implement it.
Right.
And
That's
I
true.
say, like, brother, you implementing that
Mm-hmm.
plan. You're doing a lot of things, and I'm grateful
Good.
to have met y'all.
Okay.
You know, everyone that's in y'all little, and I see more of them because of the Great Black Hopes.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's get into that.
Okay, yeah, because we are an organization that we do plays sometimes throughout the year. Now we vowed to do 3 productions. Last year we did a production that was called The Untold Truths from Her Womb. It was a historical production that was talking about the greatness of our ancestors and where we came from, because a lot of us don't know that. We only know some of the story. So we went back in time and showed how great we are as a people. And then we began to kind of teach that we as a people should not walk around defeated and dejected, even though we have issues. Because when you get into who you really are and you know who you are, a lot of times that's going to solve a lot of those agonizing type of issues and feelings that we have as a people. And then the second play, which is going to be coming up January the 15th at the Little Carver Cultural Community Center.
A couple of weeks from now.
Yeah. And we're going to be putting on a play that's called The Great Black Hopes, and then we have it in brackets. Now what? So basically, The Great Black Hopes is about 3 events that happened to us as a people. The first event is the 1865 Emancipation Proclamation. But basically, we're going to go back to Juneteenth because the last people that look like us that heard about it, they heard about it in Galveston, Texas. It was June the 19th, 1865. So we're going to take that event, then we're going to move from that event, and we're going to go to the next Great Black Hope, which we look at Dr. Martin Luther King's speech in 1963, the March on Washington speech for jobs and justice. And then finally, we go to Barack Obama's presidency in 2008. So what we do is we take those 3 Great Black Hopes, and then we contrast them with reality as to, although we've had great hopes, we still have a long way to go as a people. And so we're trying to challenge our people to apply the knowledge that we have to help us, because we can't rest on our laurels. Because you well know right now, even though we've had many hopes, but we're leading in mass incarceration. We're dealing with drug addictions and all these things that have been placed and put on us. And we don't know how to deal with that. A lot of our children are being miseducated. A lot of the parents, don't know how to raise children. So we got a lot of issues economically, socially, emotionally, politically. And so this play is going to basically come away with people with the idea of, okay, I see what has happened, but I have a job to do. That's what we want to get to, is the application. And that's what's going to help us out a lot.
All right. And man, and the way you broke that down, I haven't talked to you about how I saw the play. And the reason I have any kind of knowledge, basically, because y'all allowing me to be in the play.
Okay.
Brother called me, contacted me like last month or so. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Hey man, I got a part, and I want to know if you'll play." And I'm like, "A play?" So I'm like, "Okay, I think I deserve an Oscar at some point in my life. I'm gonna try this out, And when I saw it,
mm-hmm.
You gave me the script,
right, for
my part.
Okay.
You hit me with another part once I got there, and small parts, but they, and I was like, okay, I could do this. But when I saw everything unfold,
okay,
and interestingly enough, someone asked me how I felt about the play yesterday after we had rehearsal yesterday,
right,
after I left,
mm-hmm.
and someone that's part of the play,
mm-hmm.
they said, well, how do you feel about it?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, it's awesome.
Good.
And I'm telling you, bro, and that's how I don't throw around, compliments like that if I
Mhm.
don't mean it.
I hear you.
Because even like say if it's a black restaurant they open up and
Mhm.
and I go taste the food and I say it's all right.
Right.
But I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna say, hey man, it's a black restaurant over here.
Right.
Y'all need to check it out.
Right.
Now, if I don't give reviews on it
Uh-huh.
and I've eaten it, then I probably should tell people because if it's good, I'm gonna say, man, this is good. They
Yeah.
got this. But I told man, I talked to one of my friends about this
Uh-huh.
before the conversation I had yesterday.
Right.
And I said, man, he asked me what I had to do, so I said I got to go to rehearsal. He said, what you talking about? And I said, man, I'm in a play. I forgot I don't go. I said, hey man,
Right. Right.
but it's like a play.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, man, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell y'all the way once I saw the first rehearsal that I saw full scale,
Right.
I was blown away.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome, man.
Because when someone gives you a script and it's just your little part,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, I don't really know what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
I know what my part is about in
Mhm.
this conversation I'm having.
Right.
But when I see the writing of it
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is awesome.
Okay. Okay.
The way that y'all put it together
Mhm.
and the production of it, meaning that when y'all say, I mean, it goes into segments. And I was trying to explain to somebody, it's not scenes, it's segments,
Mhm.
3 segments
Yeah.
that has different scenes.
Right. Right.
And I'm breaking it down, and then we having a discussion about the whole, situation. But it's like, and I told him like the way that the play affects me, just me talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It goes full circle
Mm.
from the first segment that you brought up,
Mhm.
emancipation,
Mm-hmm.
and the things that happen there and the conversation that's had. Everybody has these great hopes,
Mhm.
but then someone bringing them to reality.
Yeah.
Then I say the second scene with Martin Luther King.
Right.
Then you got the dynamics of the power, Black Power, the youth,
Yeah.
and how that actually was.
Yes,
and
sir.
I'll say the conversation is for okay, y'all got all this hope here, and it's other people that got different ideas.
Right.
And it's almost like a reality thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like the backlash,
Mm.
And I was like, that's real. I know that,
Right.
And then coming up to the Obama thing, everyone was just ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that's not gonna solve all of our problems.
Exactly.
And everything that y'all was saying,
Mhm.
it's the same thing. It's just going in a loop again.
Yeah.
And it's over hundreds of years
Yeah.
of the same loop.
That's right.
And we actually have to do something.
Yeah.
Things happen,
Mhm.
okay. And I think, like, of course, with the releasing of the slaves and us having to snap into reality,
Mhm.
and we had to do our own thing, and we did that.
Right.
But also, they tore a lot of that down.
Yeah, Kevin. I think what people don't realize, and I had to swallow this pill myself. But before I say this, I wanted to say a couple of names of people that are instrumental in helping me. And one is my wife. Okay,
Right.
she's co-authored this.
Give the name, not the title.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, give her name.
Marie Osaze. She's known as Moody Wa. Rico. I mean, she wears all kinds of hats, man. As well as Candace Walker.
Yeah,
These queens, man, working with them, it has made my job really, really easy because before it was difficult, but when people come together of like-mindedness, like even yourself, it makes it much smoother because we're all on the same page, so to speak. We have people like Barbara Royal, we have yourself, we have Baba Andar, we have Mandrea, we have Shay, we have all types of people from different types of background, different types of religious affiliations. But when people know the oppression that we're going through, and like you mentioned, we have to do something, that's important. But the pill that I had to swallow, brother, and I'll give it back to you, is the pill that we look at 1865, that first scene, and we're on this side of it. Well, on that side of it, we keep forgetting that those first people that were told that they were free, our ancestors, the enslaved, it wasn't as easy as we think about today, because we look at ourselves now hundreds and something years later, and so we go, okay, we can do certain things. But when you look at them, they had nothing, man. And I don't think we really, that resonates with us. And this is why people should come out to see that play, because it's going to affect their hearts. And that's what we really want it to do.
I mean, me sitting there and I'm seeing your wife and I'm seeing Candace, I'm seeing all of y'all putting things like, okay, no, do it like this. And then the brother y'all got doing the videotaping.
Yeah, Matthew, brother
man,
Matthew.
it's like, man, I'm like, this is professional. I didn't think it's like, okay, when people say they doing a play.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, okay, in my mind, I got, okay, I've been in seen school plays.
Right.
I'm like, okay, it's just this format, but the way that y'all transcend generations and decades,
Yeah.
and with these events, and I'm like, man, then it's like the acting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had some people doing some acting, some singing.
Yeah. This is a production, brother.
And that's what I say. The production blew me away. The storyline, I'm like, I loved it. I'm like, okay, I got this, because you could have just had that storyline and somebody would have just ran it all the way through different scenes.
Right.
But it's like, man, this is so professional.
And see, that's what we did when we constructed this play. We sat down and we talked like you and I talk all the time. Social issues, critical issues that Black people need to talk about. And this is why we come away. People say, you guys, this is the second play. The first one people were elated about. Now people are excited about this one. And they asked the simple question. They said, well, how do you get the content? And I say, we sit down and we talk about what we're dealing with now.
So when you say we, who all's a part of that?
Okay, well, my wife Marie and Candace and myself. Okay, we spearhead the Liberation Center. There are others that help us out. We even have people that feed the homeless, but they're all plugged into the Liberation Center. Okay. And so we sit down and we talk about what's going on now. And so we try to make whatever we do relevant. Because what this play, although in the 1800s, that was a while ago. Yeah. Even 2008 was a while ago. But when you look at the dynamics as to what's happening today, everything in that play sits right in our laps. Right. It sits right in our laps. And like, when you came on, just meeting you, I was like, I want to connect with this brother. Because you always have been conscious, positive, and you always talked about communal things to help our community. So when I asked you to do the play or your part, you said yeah. And then when I saw you doing it, I kind of watched the just the body language, and it's like, this man is really interested in what he's doing. And so that's what I like about the cast, because people are just not showing up.
I'm forced to, because I'm seeing everybody do it. And I'm like, man, the pressure is on, bro. Like, I can't be up there like, and then like with, as it goes along, more time, people understanding and memorizing their script and interactions, it's like you start having that chemistry. And then it's like y'all like saying, hey, every little detail, people in the background, I need you to be doing this. And the eyes, and that's what I'm saying, man, the production of it, if y'all get a chance to go see this play, I'm not a brother that say, if somebody say, man, go see a play, I'll be like, unless I'm like being twisted, like, okay, I said I was gonna do it, because I'm not a play person. But now, what I'm saying, this is good. Yeah, this is good.
Your role is very important, because a lot of people think that in 1865, the white general Gordon Granger, they actually think that he was the one who went around to tell our ancestors that they were free. Right. Well, we dug deep, because we know a brother that lives in Galveston who's a curator, and we contact him. We do our homework, and he actually explained to us what really happened. It was nothing of the sort. General Granger did write the order. He was there. It was the Black soldiers and the Black troops, the colored troops, that went around house to house with their rifles, making the Europeans let our people go. See, people don't understand that it wasn't a matter of when people were told we were free, everybody just said, well, great, we're free. Some of the Europeans who had our people enslaved, they didn't let them go in 1865. Right. They were forced to let them go. And this is why I think it's important for the unlearned to come out and listen, so that we can see that it was more than just someone reading an Emancipation Proclamation and everybody's happy to be free, because there was a lot of issues that came with that.
And it wasn't on the news. It wasn't like a news broadcast or they listening to the radio and saying, oh, we free. These slave owners knew in 1863, and they let a couple of seasons, because they tried to milk all that money they can. And if you're thinking about whatever crops they doing, whether it's cotton or whatever crops, it's a season for it. So they got a couple of seasons in before and then they were actually still made.
Man, my wife and I was watching last week Emancipation. We every blue moon we'll watch something that's pertinent. We watched Emancipation because I was thinking, okay, well, it's going to be another one of those movies to glorify a certain actor or actress. Will Smith, which I don't know, personally, I have no interest in the man other than he's a brother. But we saw Emancipation, and it did something to us. In other words, it didn't show just people being free and having this, everybody lives happily ever after. It showed a man who heard about the Emancipation Proclamation. He was free, but they wouldn't let him go. So they imprisoned him, and it showed what he had to go through to get out of that situation. And this is why I am the way I am when it comes to our people. When you realize, and I mean generally, when we realize what our ancestors went through, and these words I'm using is not doing any justice to them. If we can sit down and think about what our ancestors have done for us and what they went through for us to be here today, I think when it resonates in our hearts, a lot of us, we should be totally different, brother.
Our attitude about things should be
everything, man. Gratefulness. We are some of the most ungrateful. We are grateful, but we're ungrateful. And I'm talking about myself.
Yeah.
We take things for granted. But when we saw that emancipation, man, I was like, man, this man, I mean, this is based on a true story, they say. But regardless, it's just that's not even had to have, brother. I went on and purchased a book by William Steele, who chronicled some of the stories when people escaped to the North. I read, it's about 700 pages. I read about 2 accounts. I had to put the book down. I had to put it down.
And to bring that into a different, like with my job, I work in the rural areas.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm close to Laredo, man. I mean, they sending me way out. But then what happens is, sometimes I'm out and I work by myself in a vehicle, and it's country roads. And I'm sitting there, and it'll be nighttime. And I'm thinking, man, if my truck broke down.
I know, that's right.
And it's like, man, I got to be able to have phone reception. But I'm thinking, and then it just dawned on me, and I said this a couple of years ago, man, them slaves that ran away, they was making it, thousands of miles.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Yep.
And, it's not like, okay, they got a lighter and they can start a campfire and let's pitch a tent. They in the creeks, snakes, gators and stuff. And I'm like, man, in a strange land. It ain't like they had a road map.
Right.
And it's like they did, I mean, and then if anyone saw them, they would be killed or recaptured and sent back. And so I'm like, man, they had to face all of this going at night. Most of the time they got to travel at night because you could be seen in the daytime, but then you can't start a fire because they could see the smoke even in the daytime or whatever. Somebody say it's and they'll go check it out. And it's like, man, and I just dawned on me it happened but every one night it just dawned on me. I'm like, man, if I had to make it back to San Antonio from where I'm at, and I'm like, okay, I'm only 100 miles away. And I was like, okay, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, but I thought about it. I say, they can't travel on the regular road. They got to go through the creek beds, the most dangerous and the darkest, and they don't even have a map of where they're going. So that just gave me an appreciation, just being in a situation where I'm driving.
Man, this is why I like to talk to you, brother, because I told you yesterday when we were chopping it up, I like to talk to you because you are a reflective brother. A lot of us brothers, we are so headstrong. We're so into ourselves. We never look at what has happened for us. And sometimes it takes grown, I guess, can you say ass?
Yeah, grown ass.
It takes grown ass men to sit down and talk about what happened to us and how that still affects us now. But you have to reflect. And what you just said, I'm listening to that, and then that even gets my mind to spinning. Because a lot of us as black men, we think, and I said this last time when I was on your broadcast, we think we know everything and don't know anything. We don't get together. We don't band together. We see the situation that we're dealing with today. We don't come up with any kind of plan or program. We always talk about what we would like to do, but we never do what we need to do. And so what I need to do is I need to continue to connect with brothers who's not afraid, because we're all going to leave this place. But a lot of people talk that game, but they're not interested in this. And so this play hopefully is going to reveal to them so much has happened to us, not just with that, even with Dr. King in the 1963 situation with the house scene with the two sisters and the daughter going at it.
And then because her daughter, and then it's like y'all brought the kids into it. I was telling somebody about it. I'm like, man, but I don't be wanting to say too much. It's like, y'all, that's y'all thing. And it's like, but I'm like, man, it's like, and I give them like a little dynamic. I don't want to do the whole scene because I'm like thinking like I don't think they're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna rewrite this play. I'm gonna write this. I'd rather have you say what it's about, and then I could go in a little. But man, all that is like every segment. in every scene, it goes into a loop.
I mean, and you don't know the half of what we've gone through. Now, I'm telling you the
But I want to know the half.
I'm getting ready to tell you the rest of it.
Tell us.
Because we have had many people who have helped us, but along the way, they fallen by the wayside. They all say they're pro-black. They all say they're Afrocentric. They all say they're down for their people. But when it comes down to, like putting your economics together, see, we don't have sponsors. We're doing this out of our pocket. A lot of people can't disagree, because once you and I disagree, then I'm going to pack up my mic and my water and leave, and I don't want to talk to you again. This is how petty we are, you see. But yet we're old as dirt, man. And a lot of us, it's like we really need to see a psychiatrist. We need medicine, many of us. And I'm talking about people that are as old. Now, children, I give them a pass because they're still growing. They're developing. They're maturing. But a lot of the things I'm saying, these are people, man, that they never do what they say they're going to do. And so through that, the smoke clears, and then you have three giants, as well as other people who are now plugging into it, who we know, because of what has happened for us, come hell or high water, we've got to.
Y'all gonna get it done. And the production, I mean, what you produce, I ain't talking about the production of the show. The fruits, the labor. You know what I'm saying? When you say those three people, or they're there, and y'all are actually creating. Y'all have fruit, and people could say, this is what we've done. A lot of people would talk and say they want to be part of it. And even if you put the mirror up to them, like my scene with the barbershop thing, it's like, I'm like, that's not actually me, but that don't matter. I'm playing a role. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing a part, and you got to play that part. Yeah. You can't be like, well, I wouldn't have said that, or I feel like this. That's irrelevant how you feel, because y'all not casting as me. Right. And it's like, but sometimes if you show somebody who we are, or who they are, sometimes they won't even see that that's how they are. It's people in this play. There's people that you can say, well, this is how. And then what you should do is reflect it. You should reflect, because you may not be willing to have that conversation, because we hang with our groups a lot of times, and it's a bunch of people that think alike. And they just stay on a hamster wheel. And they never get out of that comfort zone and have those challenging conversations, because they see those conversations as friction. You believe this, no, I believe that, and then it's argumentative instead of listening and saying, well, why you think that? And well, I think it like this, or let's discuss this. And you don't build like that. Exactly. You're just looking to tear somebody down that got a different view.
They're very negative. You see, a lot of people haven't dealt with themselves. And that's the problem, you see, because they're still carrying things that happened to them when they were little children, but yet they're saying they're conscious. They're saying they're Christian. They're saying they're Muslim. They're saying they're spiritual. They're saying they're awake. Those things don't mean anything if you don't know how to deal with you. And so what I do is every day I look at myself in the mirror and I say to myself, okay, you need to stop and start doing certain things. And then it's a process. And so once that's done, I go to the next. And then I go back every few months and say, well, how are you doing in that aspect? That's how you work on yourself. Not trying to impress people with fancy words and lofty speech and language, or with, certain dress codes, or trying. The majority of the people that I meet now, and it's funny, brother, but you probably can agree to this, but the majority of people that I meet now, most of them want you to think that they're more than they are. They don't want to be. It's like they. In other words, if you do something for a living, and that's fine, instead of just saying, "Yeah, brother, this is what I do." When by the time you get through with how you're going to define what you do, I would think that you've done so much, and it's like it's not necessary though. You see, and this is what people say, well, you guys are professional writers. Well, we just love our people so much that when we get into writing, we put our soul in this thing.
Passion is in it. You can tell. You can tell. And that's what I'm like I say, man, I was like, wow. And I sat there and I'm looking. The sister y'all got singing.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm like, man,
that play is going to be up there.
Y'all picked a song. And it's not like, okay, y'all got a professional singer.
Right.
It's like, this is just these are every day. This is us. And it shows our talent and stuff.
Yeah.
And we got to get out and support stuff like
that. The tickets, you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster. And we're going to get some tickets as well. I'm going to get some within the next probably 3 or 4 days. And those who don't want to do the Ticketmaster thing, because you know how some of us, we don't do it, you can contact us, at 726-500-2448. That's the number for the Liberation Center if you need tickets. You know, we'll make sure you get the tickets. They're $40. You're going to get a meal before the play. And basically what you have to look at is you're supporting our organization, okay? So you're supporting our school. I'm telling you now, man, our children, I have children that are 6 and 7 years old that's doing double-digit multiplication. They're doing geometry. They're doing algebra because this is the kind of things that we need. But most of our people, they talk, brother, and it's like they're living in a bubble, and they will die like that. They always say what they're going to do, but they never do anything. So I'm glad that we've crossed paths, and I mean we have another play that's coming up, and one of the sisters. Man, I've written this play so many times. But when we get together, the sisters chop it up, man. I mean, we go back, and you would think, man, this is World War III. But at the end of the day, it's all love. And now you see the final product of what happens when you have an open mind with people who disagree with you, but yet they want the best. Because I had heard another different version of the play, somewhat. And when we got done talking about it, like, okay, no. So it was like, it was a meeting of the minds. So we said we were to do 3 plays. We've done 2. The second one coming up now on January 15th. So what we're going to do is the next year, if we live to see it, we want to do a 3rd one. That's going to be our trilogy. And they're talking about it may be a movie. I said, well, come on, guys, now, because the way they're going. I know, because the way the things have been going. Because we have now a guy that's a videographer. He's a very professional gentleman. This is going to be a documentary. So those who can't see the play, if they want to order the play, we're going to be able to order it, and you can look at it and you can see it as if it's a movie. Credits, you're going to be in it. You're going to do an interview. I mean, it's what more can you ask for by common people?
Right, and that's so important to me. Like you just said, common people, and I try to stress that to other people that I've known that did things, and I say, man. I don't care if you wrote a book, right? And it's like, with so many people out there that want to learn how to, or they may want to write a book, but they don't know how. And you've done it. Share that information.
Right.
Get that to us. You know, you may be helping somebody that become the next, great author. You know, that inspire millions.
Right.
But the way that, I mean, like you say, y'all common people. And the professionalism is what I said I was taken aback with also, because y'all are doing it like y'all been doing this for decades. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about plays, but I mean, it's like you got to hit your mark. You gotta do this, you gotta do this. And I'm like, man, like marks, you gotta have your head in this position. You know, and I'm like, man, you know, this is like very professional. Everything y'all did. I mean, you got to sign a release.
Yeah.
You know, all of this stuff, and it's like, this is not like some run-of-the-mill rinky-dink, like, okay, somebody got an idea and I want to do a play with it. I mean, costumes, like, you know, the songs, the production, like the music.
Lights, everything.
Everything, like the lights and everything. It's like, okay, the lights going to dim at this point. This person going to do this. And it's like everything is on timing. Yeah. And it's like, wow.
Our people right now, Brother Kevin, our people are in I don't even know if there's a word for it, but what it boils down to is what I'm trying to say is our people are so confused, man, but they don't know it because they think they're well, but they're sick. Not all of them, because there are a lot of great people who have, you know, began the process of the self-healing. But a lot of us, our families are causing us all types of hell. They're just bringing all kind of turmoil in our lives. And then we don't know how to deal with each other. We don't know how to deal with our bills. We don't know how to deal with the societal ills. We don't know how to deal with anything. So we're functioning, but inside of us, man, we are as crazy as a Betsy bug. And it's sad, but these are the kinds of plays that a person can come to and leave saying, I got to do better.
Right.
I got to do better.
And if we had the wherewithal to look into, like you said, what our ancestors had done, what they had to go through, a lot of times we look at it from being ashamed of them. And it's like, if you think of somebody that couldn't read, or if they did, I mean, some of them that did, they had to hide the fact that they could read what they were able to read, because they had to be killed for reading. You know, they wasn't given mathematics. They wasn't given anything that could help them out. All they were just mules and something to breathe. And what they did after they were released, because the country was expecting them or expecting us to just run rampant like animals. Like you releasing animals from the zoo. You know, you can't release these animals. They, you know, they gonna tear up and run, you know, run amok and be trying to robbed. They don't have no ways and no means of making money,
Wow.
anything. And then we built cities, we
Right.
built towns.
Right.
If they put us in a segregated part of town,
We
we
flourished.
thrived.
That's
And
right.
They
All the
they
time.
had to come tear it down because they were scared of what they were seeing.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we look at that and understand and appreciate that, show some appreciation,
There you go, Kevin.
Gratitude,
Yeah.
for where we're at. Like, you know, yeah, we do a lot of things wrong. We've done a lot of things right.
Exactly.
And that will make us stop doing the wrong things. If I know where I come from and I know what we did, I see that excellence, then I got to give me a inspiration.
Man, The Great Black Hopes is a play that everyone should want to see. Everyone should want to, if you're not in San Antonio, you should want to find out, where can I get this DVD from so I can watch it, you know. But you see, we're too interested in other things. See, if a comedian comes in and uses our ancestors as the butt of all his or her public jokes, we like that. We laugh about that. That shows you the sick mentality. When you help me out and I realize what you've done for me, why would I do or say anything against you? You see, like Dr. King and Barack Obama, I'm not into Christianity. I used to be. I'm not into that anymore, okay? But I would never stand up or say anything negative about a man that did everything he could to help us. But you got some of these idiots out here now who don't even know what time of day it is. And it's a sad state. But we need brothers like yourself and others who's going to be willing to be honest. Because listen, the lies that we are being told now, we've gotten that all our lives, Kevin. At some point in time, someone's going to have to stand up and tell us the truth. Whether we accept it or not, that's personal. But we got to tell it. Because they're not telling it now.
Right. One thing phrase that I use, it's one thing to be lost, and it's worse when you lost and don't know you're lost. You know, when you lost, and you say, man, I don't even know where I'm at. I took a turn somewhere, and blah, blah. But when you don't know that you're lost, you're going to keep going and get further and further away from where your destination is. Because we have to recognize our issues. We have to recognize that we're lost before we're able to try to correct it. A lot of times, once you realize that, you know what, and you know, the pride thing,
right?
And like what they say when men drop, it's like, man, you know what, things don't look familiar. I think I took them, but you just keep going because you don't want to ask anybody. And that's probably where I think we're at. A lot of us are lost, and we're not looking for. We don't know that we're lost. Right. Some of us don't feel good about where we're at, and we say, you know what, this ain't right. Something, and let me seek something. Let me find something. And some of us are like, yeah, you know what, we are lost. And somebody gave us bad direction. They gave us a faulty map. They flourishing off of us being lost because this is holding us down and holding us back.
Kevin, this play, The Great Black Hopes, is going to be seen January the 15th at the Little Carver Cultural Community Center on Pine Street. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster. The tickets are $45, and we're not apologizing for the rate of the tickets because you're going to get a meal served before. We're going to wine and dine you. And this is something that most people should be interested in. But what you have to see is this, Kevin. A lot of people, because of their mental conditioning, these kinds of plays don't mean much to them. But you let somebody come on, like you mentioned before we went on the air, shaking their backside, calling you every name under the sun, then you're going to pack that thing out. And people are going to say, we had a good time. But yet you will not, even people that maybe can't make it. If you tell me, I'm looking at you do something and you in Ohio, and I like what I see, I'm going to donate. I can't make it, but I'm going to show you that I appreciate what you're doing when it comes to our ancestors.
And so that should be sold out. That event should be sold out. It should be sold out locally. And anybody that's hearing about it that's not local, I mean, my cousin brought this to my attention. I never even thought about it. It was a movie. In fact, I think it was the Teal movie. And I'm telling people, man, this is a powerful movie. You got to see it. You got to see it. And people are not going to see it. But one of my cousins was like, she was like, I bought tickets online, even though I didn't go.
Okay. And
I'm like, well, that's a great thing to do. Y'all could buy tickets to this, even if you're not here, or if you're local and you can't make it on that date, buy the tickets. Right. Because what you're doing, you're supporting everything that your brother was sitting up there telling y'all that they do. Yeah. The academy, the center, you know, helping people with, you know, COVID stuff. And this is all y'all. This is not grants from somebody and somebody else got their hands in it.
Exactly.
You know, this is grassroots. Yeah. It's our people.
You know, brother, every time we get together, we talk like we were talking yesterday. We control the narrative. You see, and that's important. And this is what we talk about even in educating our children. When someone else controls your narrative, you're going to be messed up because they're going to make sure that you are a push button or a patsy or a peon, you see.
Right.
But when you control the narrative, you can rise and let your people know that you come from a great people. You didn't just build pyramids. You just didn't do one or two things. Every discipline that we have, we were involved in that. And even today, they've taken and stolen and twisted it around and given it to themselves. And now we're worshiping them.
Right.
And so I can't wait till we do the broadcast. I know this is about the play, The Great Black Hopes, January 15th. But I can't wait till you and I do the broadcast about the holidays. And we're not going to slam the holidays, but we're talking about the mindset, Kevin. Kevin, why do I have to? And we're going to get back on The Great Black Hopes, but like we were talking about yesterday, why do I have to wait one day out of a year to make a change as far as a so-called resolution? Why do I have to wait till a certain month to honor my mother? Why do I have to wait to give my children? This is insane. But because we're accustomed to it, we think like, we don't even know what year it is. But what you know what everybody's saying today? This is the new year. I'm going to stop doing this. You should have stopped it a long time ago. But you're waiting for somebody else to tell you when to do it, and then you're not going to keep your promises. But The Great Black Hopes is a play that's cultural, it's traditional, it talks about our heritage, it talks about our lineage, it talks about our history. I mean, it goes on and on. Who wouldn't want that, brother?
It's entertainment, like you said. Yeah. It's going to be a meal served. Y'all have someone catering?
We have a couple of people that have their own restaurant. And this is the beautiful thing about it. They volunteer to come out and serve. They're not charging us a penny.
Wow.
And you cannot be. See, this is what I talk about when I talk about unity. We talk about the Nguzo Saba and the principles of Kwanzaa.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
The first one is unity, right?
Yeah, unity.
But a lot of people talk that talk, Kevin, but they're all about them, they themselves and their families. If it's outside of their families, they're not going to help. But they talk about it because that's one of the things that I love the principles. But when you look at it, look at how much more unity we would have if we as a people in just the city we live in and those who live in other places come together for the right cause to help our children.
And that's the easiest thing actually to do. Mm-hmm. You're not asking anybody else to, you don't need help from anybody else. If you just, like you say, the unity, the economics. A lot of the stuff, when I was listening, I went to the Kwanzaa event and Under Armour was breaking down each day.
Okay.
For those that wasn't familiar. And everything that's part of that.
we need.
Yeah, is we
desperate.
We need to be incorporated. And I'm sitting up here coming from the rehearsal. And then everything you're saying about, the economics.
Yeah.
We need to have unity.
Yeah.
We need to have a purpose. Everything that you think about in Kwanzaa, but you got people that's like, oh man, I don't know.
That's that negativity and that's that jealousy. Because a lot of people talk unity, Kevin, when we're together, brother, but in their hearts, you see, and this is where it has to make the transformation. Because we can say anything we want to say, and we've done that. We still do that. But a lot of people, a lot of us, and I don't want to even sound hypocritical because I have to catch myself, we're very jealous. If I see you with something that is very new and is innovative, instead of me saying, Brother Kevin, man, take care of yourself. I like that. I'm going to say, man, that looks good, and go right behind your back and talk about you like a dog.
Anything that's negative. They look good. And I like Dr. Georgia Leary. She was talking about how that comes from slavery, the post-traumatic slave syndrome, that we bring negativity. Even as a parent as a child, when somebody compliments our children, but they don't like to clean up their room. It's always got to be something. But she was saying that came psychologically from protection, because you didn't want the slave master to say, oh, that child is good. You thinking they're going to sell him.
Right.
So they would bring, but he's simple,
Right.
And I think we've carried on some of that stuff to our detriment because we look for negativity.
Exactly.
And whomever like is in the spotlight.
Right.
And I'm like, man, it's not, like I say, I'm telling y'all, this show, for my part, I had to gain 10 pounds for anybody out there. Y'all see me and I'm looking a little chunky. I had to gain 10. But everybody that's in that play, that's doing, they down to the T. It's the acting is off the chain. How the whole Martin Luther King part with the sisters.
And you haven't seen the whole. See, Kevin, now this week you're gonna probably we may have to carry you out on the stretcher because you're gonna see it in its full effect. You haven't seen the newsreel because see what's going to happen is whoever comes to the play, you're watching the news, and the news reporter is going to start off today. We have 3 stories. Today's top story each story he says and announces, we go to that story.
Right.
And you guys are going to show that story.
I was explaining to somebody. I was telling them about it.
Awesome.
I said, yo, man, I said, it's going to be like a news guy. And he's going to be saying, in 1865, you know, da, 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 da.
Right.
Then it's like the scene break in.
Right, right.
And then, you know.
And even at the end, when the brain gonna get, when he gets up and says, you know, what do you think about the news? And you know how we are, Kevin. If we watch something on the news, man, did you see that? You know, yeah, man, this is what happened. He's gonna get up and tell what he saw.
Man, and when I heard, see, the last time, but the last week when Ondar came on, and I'm like, dude, he's like going. And I didn't know that part was in there.
Oh yeah, that's the.
I didn't, and I'm like, then I saw the script because you know I'm like on the last part, and I'm like, okay, I know you know the poem gonna come.
Right.
I'm like, okay, but then it's like, what Ondar doing here? I didn't keep going, but then that brother stood up and said, you know, he started talking. I'm like, bro,
that all goes all back into the great black host. Now what?
And now what?
And Cries from the Womb is going to close it out.
And y'all said yesterday,
we're going to close it out. And this week we're going to do it. We're going to go through the whole play. And then this week at the end, when Ondar's done, he's going to ask the question, the great black host. You've seen the news. Now what are you going to do? And then we have a song that's entitled The Great Black Host. Now what? We're going to perform that song with the same information all comprised into one song of 2 minutes and something seconds. And the cast is going to be able to take their curtain call, all during a song within a 2 minute stretch, and then call out those who are spearheading the Liberation Center and Liberation Academy and say a few things about the Liberation Center and the Liberation Academy. And then you're going to be able to go home, and hopefully you'll go home walking in the stars.
And thinking, what do I need to do?
There you go.
That's what you, now what?
Now what?
Because a lot of us, people bash Martin Luther King because they love Malcolm.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
Or you whatever.
Right.
For whatever reason. Or they bash Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Obama, Martin, they don't hold our hopes.
Right.
I mean, they should have been inspiration and motivation.
Yeah.
But the motivation is movement.
Mm-hmm.
They should make you move to do something.
Mm-hmm.
So if you sitting there just looking at them and then you're just waiting for something to happen, like drop out the sky because we got a black president, like all of our troubles are gone. You don't understand our troubles.
Wow, that's heavy, man. That's heavy.
You don't.
You can't understand them. Because, and I think it goes back to our thinking, and I'm on that. I'm on that thinking aspect because there's different types of thoughts that has to happen when you're dealing with this kind of stuff. You have to be critical. You have to be analytical. You have to be linear. You have to be non-linear. You know, you have to have a certain mindset. And I think this is new, Brother Kevin. This is new. And a lot of people, if they just plug into it, they're gonna learn so much, and they're gonna become better people. And that's our goal, is to help people because people need to be helped.
I'm thank a couple of y'all that showed up. I got Lede, I got Aisha, I got Sharon Simpson Anderson, and she said greetings. I got Evelyn, I appreciate you showing up. Nikita McClure, I appreciate you showing up, sister. She said hi, and she said speak on it. And Teresa Lewis said, I can't wait to see it.
Great.
And I'm gonna get y'all some tickets. And Anthony Gonzalez, what's up, Dap? He said, what's the dates again? So
okay.
Hit us with the dates.
Okay, here we go. The date for the Great Black Hoax Now What is January the 15th. That's on a Sunday, the day before the Martin Luther King celebration, which will be Monday, but it's going to be Sunday. It's at 4 o'clock. But actually, we're wanting people to be there at 3:45 because we're going to serve them a meal. And then after they're done eating, then we're going to do the play. The play starts at 5. And so at 5 o'clock, you'll be in for a real treat, as they say in Hollywood. But this is going to really be a treat. But that's January the 15th, and it's going to be at 3:45. Well, if you come in 4 o'clock, the tickets are $40. Please support us, Liberation Center, Liberation Academy. And we're going to even, after the play, we're going to talk to people. Right. We're not just going, because we're not quote unquote celebrities. You know, we're not flying in from all these different places and flying out. I mean, you know, I know you might have a fan club after this because you know, I told some people, they said, does this brother act? I said, no, I know him. And I mean, you're so into your role, man. And when you get that uniform on and your piece, I mean, I'm not gonna tell it all. It's just that the passion yesterday, when I closed my eyes, I listened to everybody throw their lines, and I couldn't believe what I heard. You're talking about coming together and just looking on that stage and seeing black people who are telling our story that doesn't have any kinds of qualms about how we should tell the truth. I love that. I love it.
Even the details, like when they talking of like how the slaves would talk. And I'm
Even
like,
that, yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
down to the T, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I like that. Man, once the sister, she was acting.
The sister Sharon.
Yeah,
Man, she took that scene, and I tell you, man, I jumped up. I jumped up, and I had to look up there to see who, because and I never noticed this. When older people, when we get older, we bend over a little bit, the curvation in our back. But she just got low, and she was pointing
animated, and I'm like,
man, this stuff.
And it's not just reading the script.
No, it's from her heart.
And I'm like, man, this sister. Hey. Like I say, man, you gotta stay. You can't go up there being all mom, dad. No. You see something like that.
Yeah. I thought they were going to fight on the scene when the one sister grabbed the other.
Everybody got up and looked. I'm telling you, we done seen everything over and over. We go to rehearsal maybe. And then it started getting like, because at first we was just reading the script.
Right. It's getting intense
then
now.
You memorizing your script, and now you starting to interact the chemistry.
Yeah.
And it's like,
we can't. Words are not doing to play justice. You have to come out to see it, because he's telling you about rehearsal. And if that's rehearsal, we don't have the lights, we don't have the sound, we don't have the costumes.
Yeah.
You're gonna love this play.
Because even like I said, yesterday we didn't play a lot of, but one of the days I started seeing everything start coming. I'm like, man, y'all played the new Y'all start playing the speeches. And it's like you getting into and people listening to Martin Luther King on the radio, and they feeling this style like, oh man, the passion. Then somebody else is saying this, and it's like, then you getting into it. Then it's like slaps. I'm like, man, like, and then y'all was saying, nah, you know how mama talked to her daughter. Be like,
they get down.
And it's like,
and see, it's for all people. As far as I'm talking about, as far as ages. Because some plays are just for children. Some plays are just for teens. Some plays are for young adults. Some are for old adults. This is for everyone. So if you have a child, teenage, this is for all ages, especially black people, man.
I'm gonna say this when I'm sitting there, and it's like, because I'm in the first scene, and I'm in the last scene. So the in between, and I'm seeing the kids, and sometimes I'm watching them sit there and look at y'all. Because I know one, Candace's daughters, they was looking like, you trying to fight my mom?
When she said, come on, we getting out of here. She grabbed her daughter, the little girl.
Yeah, she was like, because all the emotion, it's like, it wasn't like before, just like, hey, it's like, we doing it. It's like she grabbed the door, and all in London, everybody was like, whoa, you jumped up. I'm like, man, y'all.
I'm excited.
What I'm thinking about, I wonder, it's like, that got to be so wonderful for those kids to see y'all do this. Black people put something like this together, and then also put them in it.
Oh yeah,
the kids are in it.
Oh yeah,
they're part of it.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because before we go off the air, the children that are going to be in the Great Black Hopes Now What, they have a concert that's coming up February the 25th at the Ella Austin Community Center. Okay. The whole hour-and-a-half concert is the children going to be. They have an album that they're working on. They almost are complete within the next month. They'll have 7 songs in this educational. They're talking about some of the disciplines, some of the subjects we're talking about, and then they're talking about love yourself. That's the name of the title track. Love yourself. Know yourself. And man, you're talking about somebody that's going to be. These children are active. Their intellect is almost as if they're in college, man.
But it's like, y'all, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like what they seeing, what y'all giving them. It's like that proves. That's the fruit. You know what I'm saying? It's like you could say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. But if your fruit, if you don't have the fruit to show for your labor. But I was telling somebody, I was like, man, the kids, they come up there and I was telling them how they end up being in the Black Power movement and the thing. And I say the way they did that, because their mom in the scene, the mom is the one the mom and the aunt is like, well, y'all, you going to that Black Power stuff, right. And it's the attitude. But then it's like her kids is the ones that's doing the Black Power and becoming that. But it shows like in reality, the civil rights, it was like I think Bobby Seale said, if it wasn't for Malcolm X being murdered, we wouldn't have did the Black Panther Party. And though it's like everyone is interlinked, even when you think they're not, because Martin Luther King could be giving you a speech, and that could inspire you and give you. And then it's like, okay, but he's talking about correcting the issue this way, but I got a different way of doing it. But it's like you wouldn't even realize that this brother may have inspired Huey Newton, whatever. But what I was saying was, I look at the kids and I'm like, man, they got to be like. I was telling the brother, let me go back. I was telling the brother, I say, man, the kids that's doing it in this thing, they from the Liberation Academy.
Right.
And I say, they was up, they have such a confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all would bring them up unrehearsed
Mm-hmm.
to the market, to the farmers market. All these people out here, they probably thinking, okay, I'm coming here to get something. Just like, okay, y'all about to perform something for these people, and they would do it. They'd be like gravitating to the mic. Give me the mic. And I say one time they was doing Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
And they did the Negro National Anthem. One of them was like you brought them up, and they was like, I'm doing this, and I'm about to do it. And they reciting, and they not reading it from the book.
Verbatim.
Verbatim.
They had a problem with me because as an instructor, I told them we were going to do go out and do some things for the Mama Linda's at our place, and they said, well, how come we can't say our poems? We're poems. We're poets. We're poets, rather. And I said, what? They said, no, we're poets. I said, okay. So we got there. They all quoted poems. You know, Paul Laurence Dunbar, Maya Angelou. These children.
And Mama Linda had tears in her eyes.
Yeah,
she was in the Black National Anthem. Like, and the young lady said, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. And then the other girl, y'all gave her the mic. She recited it. Yeah. And then the other girl said, well, I'm gonna do Maya Angelou's poem, and it's called this, and she just recited. Yeah. But then y'all would say like, y'all would bring out say names, and they'll say, this person, this, and they just go into like a
3 minutes nonstop.
Yeah, nonstop.
Yeah.
Elijah Muhammad.
Yeah. And some of everybody. You gotta come. They gotta come to display, Brother Kevin. They're gonna learn because I learn from them all the time, even as their instructor. It's a wonderful thing to be a part of a child's life that's dealing with issues, but yet you see them maturing into the person that they're going to be to solve our problems, as opposed to just going to an academic so-called institution and turn out to be a carbon copy of the problem.
Yes. And I'm gonna interject on this part. They're seeing, I mean, y'all are producing them, you know, their product, but they're getting it and they seeing y'all. Yes, they seeing the work that y'all doing. Mm-hmm. But they got to not just think that y'all are an anomaly of our people. Mm-hmm. We got to come out and support them and see that, okay, their narrative after this show or anything they doing the play can't be, okay, they see all this hard work that these people, these teachers and leaders that they have, parents are putting in, and then they look at our community and say, nothing comes from it.
Right.
So if we got to come out there, even if y'all going to do it for the kids, y'all going to do it for the people that's caring about our community, that's doing their own academies and doing stuff like this and putting in all the work, it got to be fruit from that.
Yes,
we got to come out and support that.
We really do. We really do.
So I'm imploring y'all, get y'all tickets on Ticketmaster.
That's right.
Great Black Hopes. And then it's now what?
Now what?
It's going to be a conversation about the play afterwards.
Oh yeah. And then I'm
is it going to be like a discussion with the crowd? Or
no, just individual cast members.
I know they said that. He's going to interview us.
And I'm going to come back on this show, and then we're going to talk about how it was.
Shows. Yeah, we're going to talk about how it was. We're going to do a follow-up to it.
Yeah.
Discuss that. But then, like, we was talking yesterday.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna come on again because I have a show in my mind. I think it's gonna be Control.
Okay.
And about us as black men.
Okay.
And the things that we need to be trying to control.
Yes, sir.
All around, and that's like vague.
This is very fruitful.
And you said you want to talk about the holidays.
Oh yeah. All the above, brother. You just let me know, and you know I'll be here until all the audience. That tuned in, we surely appreciate you supporting this brother, because this brother is really a real man, you know, because I've met a lot of men, but sometimes, man, after so many months when it gets deep, then you see that these men are fly-by-nighters, just like in the play, they're fly-by-nighters. But ever since we've met you, man, you have been committed, you have been consistent, because I know in your heart, this is not just something that you're doing because you're just wasting time. You live, you sleep, you breathe this because you know your ancestors, they paved the way. And I just say, as another black man to another black man, I see it. I can tell when you're doing your lines. I can tell, even though this is new to you. You're, like you say, you're not a play guy, but you are now. Yeah. You know, you may get a starring role in something.
I'm trying to get an Oscar. Play people. I mean, that's behind the scenes. I'm telling you, I'm trying to get. But now, my man Anthony, I appreciate you showing up again, brother. He said I'll be in Nebraska. His son plays basketball. Pico, shout out to Pico,
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Fantastic.
Parents going up there to see him play, but he said I'll be in Nebraska, so I'll get with Kevin and buy 2 tickets for someone to go.
Fantastic.
I know it's going to be good. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, that's good.
That's the mindset that we gotta have. We gotta support, man. We need support. We need unity, support in economics, purpose. We gotta have drive. Yeah. And I appreciate you showing up, man. Did you want to leave with something?
No, I just want to say to all the people, as far as what you've heard today, me and this brother are serious about every word that we've said, and all we want you to do is take us up on it. Get you a ticket, get your family a ticket, come out, enjoy the meal, enjoy the play, and I promise you, you will be a thinker at the end of this play.
Right.
The Great Black Hopes, January the 15th at the Little Carver Cultural Community Center at 345 in San Antonio, Texas.
And go to Ticketmaster and get your tickets for it. Think about it. Y'all can play this back. Think about getting y'all tickets, man. We'll have a good time, you know. Peace. Kevin Lewis on the Blueprint. How'd it go, man?
Fantastic, man. It's fantastic, man. Every time you
it just flows, man.
Well, that's so sweet. We love our people.
Yeah, it's just natural flowing, man. Yeah. I got a blank. Normally I have things on my mind. I already knew, man. It's like, dude, this is like, man.
Like yesterday, that was a broadcast right there on sitting on the ledge.
Yeah, that's what like.